Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Jungle Booster session this evening. We'll get underway in just a sec. Nice to have you all here. Good to see you. Welcome back. 2017, we're underway. Great year to be starting or continuing your journey on Amazon. I'm continuing my journey. A few here are continuing their journey. Some of you might be new to this Amazon thing, wondering what the hell's going on here. Let us know in the chat, junglebooster.com/live to watch us live this evening. There is a chat if you're on the replay, junglebooster.com/replay. You can grab all of tonight's notes. You can even leave a note there for me, and I can chat to you on there as well anytime, even if you are watching this on the replay. G'day, Shane. Nice to see you. G'day, Paul. Nice to see you too. Carl, welcome aboard. We'll get underway in just a sec. Aha, nice to see you guys. I see a few that were coming in from the other session, which we just finished. There's a few hot shoe shuffles that I need to do to be able to get on from one to the other. So I do apologize for taking a few extra minutes. But we wrap up one and come straight into the other one. So I need to close one down, open up the new one. So just a few minutes while we transition in, but we're here now. Welcome to the Jungle Booster Meetup online session. We do this every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Now it is a little late for anyone on the East Coast. I do apologize, but now that I've got the kids to bed, it's time for funnel time for me. It's time for me to do my fun things. So I'm hoping you guys are, some of you are coming in from Perth, so I know that it's 9 o'clock here as well. That's okay. If you are watching this in a replay, that's cool as well. Anytime you can contact me down below in the Facebook comment section. That comes straight to me anyway. So if you do have any questions on tonight's session, or you want to let me know where you are in your business, get a Carl. Nice to see you. We can talk anytime about your Amazon business. I love this stuff. I geek out about it all the time. I have my own Amazon brand. I'll be launching more things this year, which I'm excited about. As you may or may not be aware, and we'll touch on a little bit tonight, but Amazon will be launching their Fulfillment by Amazon service down here in Australia soon. If you go onto amazon.com.au and you're wondering where all the products are, they don't have any, and that's because they don't have any warehouses here. So amazon.com.au only has the Kindle and book stuff. They don't do any of the physical goods. If you go to amazon.com, you'll see that it's huge and they have everything under the sun. It's also where a lot of people are making a lot of money, and we're going to talk about how that business model works a little bit tonight. G'day, you. Nice to see you. Let's jump into tonight's session. So it is the first session of these lessons. There are 7 lessons in total of getting your product up onto Amazon. This is the first one, probably one of the biggest ones, one that people get stuck on for a long time. So I want to give you some do's and don'ts about your idea, some tips and tools that'll help you get through the first one, which is product selection. So a quick recap now. We didn't do a What is FBA session. We will cover that in tomorrow night's in-person session. If you are wanting a little bit more detail on that, I'll try and cover as much as I can in tonight's session. If you do have any questions on what FBA is, if you are brand new to this, you can jump on to junglebooster.com and grab the details on there. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. If you hover over on this video, you'll see a little watch on YouTube down the bottom, and you can click on the subscribe. Can I make the microphone louder? No, I can't. Do you have yourself turned up? I think I've had a few people complain that I talk too loud, so maybe I'm not turned up. It's coming through quite loud on my amp here, so I'm assuming I'm loud enough for most of you. Are you able to turn yourself up, Carl? I do apologize if it's not loud enough, but I am speaking straight into the mic. All right, so we will cover off a little bit about what is FBA and how you can do sourcing and things like that. And in future sessions, we talk about creating and optimizing your listing on Amazon, building a product launch list, which is so much harder than it used to be. The Wild West is certainly over when it comes to Amazon, but that doesn't mean that it's finished, and doesn't mean the business model is finished. It is definitely one of the fastest business models to grow and start a business and validate and launch products. We talk a little bit about product packaging and logos, which sometimes gets people stuck as well. Managing shipments to FBA, which is something that I got stuck on twice, and how to launch to actual sales, which is what this is all about. You can even watch along if you just want to see the whole thing in action, and as I launch my products as well. This is probably one of the biggest pieces of news that came out of this business model last year, late last year. So Amazon banned incentivized reviews. That does mean that the Wild West is over. It was pretty crazy out there for a little while, but that doesn't mean the business model is over. And I actually think it's better for everybody involved. It's certainly better for customers, which is what Amazon is all about. It's best for us who do buying, and for selling, it's a little bit slower to start. What does this all mean? So Amazon basically said, as part of the terms of service, if you receive goods in exchange for a review, you need to make that clear or we'll delete the review. So people were obviously taking advantage of a system where reviews matter, social proof matters. You get sales from having good reviews. So, okay, I'm just going to go and pay a few people, friends and family. They will put up glowing reviews about my product. Now, that's obviously not helpful and not unbiased. And the marketplace is built on unbiased, user-driven content. So if a product got up there and 10, 15 employees said, this is the greatest product in the universe, and it was crap, people bought it and didn't like it, then that's Amazon's kind of skirting around the law on false advertising a little bit. So they've got to be very careful with that. They also want to provide the best customer service and the best customer experience. So the whole idea of reviews is that they are unbiased and that they are useful for the customers. Now, that was the early days. Then they came up with this terms of service update, which said you can put up that you got this for a discount or a heavy discount in exchange for a review, but you need to make it clear. So we were starting to see lots and lots of brand new players come to the market with 500, 1,000, 5,000 reviews. They were using these review services. So there was a cottage industry that came up that people getting high-end reviewers, people quitting their jobs to review Amazon products for a living because they were getting paid to basically leave reviews. And at the bottom of all reviews, they pretty much had the standard 10 words, which were, I received this in exchange for a discount, or I received this at a discount in exchange for a review. And we were able to filter a lot of those out, and Amazon got jack of basically people using that to tweak the algorithm or game the system, which is probably a better way of putting it. And they banned them. So people were having products returned saying this review said it was great and it was purple and it was really, really long and awesome, which is what all the reviews said it wasn't. I got it and it wasn't. I think this review is fake. They basically did a blanket one-day unannounced terms of service update and said, we are banning incentivized reviews. So you can no longer have and you can no longer ask your customers in exchange for a review or give them any sort of incentive to say, can you please leave a review for this? You can ask them if they are happy to leave an honest review, but that's not in exchange for something. So, hey, I'll give you this coupon if you go and leave a review is not on. We're a new business and we're just starting out. We'd love it if you let others know about your experience with this is fine. So there is a way still to ask for reviews. It's not the end of the world, but you need to do it properly and as part of good customer service, not as part of gaming this the system. So we always like to start with our why in each of these sessions because eventually everything becomes a job. Now, this isn't the easiest business model. It's not the typical 7-day startup. You're not going to be able to get going in 7 days. But if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. There's definitely some areas that I stumbled across. I did try and do too many things in 2015, hence my word of the year for last year was focus. And I did focus on my Amazon brand. I had all of these grand plans at the end of 2015 to launch multiple products and multiple brands. When it came to 2016, focus was my keyword. So I decided to focus on just getting a product up. And I did that. And it was successful pretty much out of the gate. So I was pretty happy with that. We'll fast forward into this year as well. But let's go back a little bit and just quickly touch on what Fulfillment by Amazon is. So if you haven't seen this business model before, if you're not familiar with drop shipping, if you're not familiar with e-commerce, I'll try and make this as simple as possible. So in a normal e-commerce or even normal sales process, I guess, as well with physical products, you would take the products, You will get them into a warehouse. They would need to be stored in that warehouse and organized in that warehouse so you know where they are. You would then have some kind of web store, e-commerce store, somewhere for people to buy that product. They would purchase, you would collect the money, you give them a receipt, and potentially send them out that product as well. You would need to put it in a box with their receipt, write a little note on there for them, give them a coupon, package it up, put their address label on it, get it out to the shipper, get it shipped off to them, get a tracking details from the shipper, send that tracking detail to your customer, follow them up, have them come back and say, I haven't got my package yet, where is it? Or it came in yellow and I asked for purple. Frontline customer service, all that sort of stuff. Now, let's look at what Amazon does in the same business model. You take your products and you send them into Amazon. Amazon does everything else. So they will house it for you. They will move it around the country to places that's closer to where people are buying it based on sales. They will do all that for you. They offer 2-day free shipping to Prime customers as well, hence why they want to get that around to all of their warehouses where it's closer to their customers or your customers. They will, on their most ultimate e-commerce store, 300 million credit cards on file, they will test, tweak, analyze, try and push your products for you to get sales for themselves because they're making money out of it as well. But they take the purchase details. They have all of the customers on file as well. So customers, it's really easy for them to buy. They do all of the cart upsells and stuff. You would notice when you're in buying something with Amazon, it's all sorts of, oh, this person bought this, and did you know you could get this and this with a bit of a bonus and benefit? And lots of other people have found that buying these two things together have made their life easier, all that sort of stuff that makes people buy more. They pick, pack, ship out to customers, and they handle the frontline customer service as well. And they do a lot better job than 99.9999% of customers service providers out there, including myself. As much as I love doing customer service and looking after my customers, there is no way I could do it as well as Amazon does. So Amazon do all of that. They go where the fish are with Amazon as well. And as I said, 300 million plus credit cards on file. They have the most seamless, frictionless e-commerce experience out there because they're constantly testing. They've got a lot of traffic, a lot of sales, a lot of customers, a lot of products, a lot of sellers that they can run their ninja analysis tools over constantly. They're constantly testing things. You'll find when you're on Amazon, one day it'll look like something, the next day it'll look like something else, especially with their ad products. You'll find that there's sponsored ads going across the top, then all of a sudden there's none, then there's 3, then there's 2 lines of them, then they're testing them on the side. They're constantly testing stuff, which if you ran your own store, that would be extremely difficult to do and take up a lot of time. And they do all that for us as sellers on their platform. Another thing to note with the Amazon model is that searches are buyers. Unlike things like Google, if you typed in stainless steel into Google, you're going to get a Wikipedia entry and a Google response on what stainless steel is, how to pronounce it, and things like that. If you're on Amazon, you type in stainless steel, you're going to get 4.5 million products come up, along with advertised products on this, reviews on products like this. So people who are searching on Amazon are buyers. If you are doing research on anything physical, the best place to do that is not Google these days, it's Amazon. Find out what people are saying about these products. Find out what real people, real customers are saying about these sort of things. Amazon is about products. So let's flash forward to the future. What's the end game with Amazon? So Amazon is coming down under in 2017. Just one moment. Wake up my snoring dog. I apologize for that, Brack. So, and what's the exit strategy? So there is an exit strategy to this business. And if you were on our previous session, we talked about some of the framework models you can go through for a business model. And this having an exit strategy is basically selling your business. Now, Amazon businesses are being snapped up like crazy. The notes for tonight are available as a download just underneath the chat box tonight. If you are watching us on the replay or live, they're available there. The anything clickable, any of the links are clickable inside the PDF. So you just grab that PDF. It's not, there's no email or anything required for that. You just press the button and it gives you a PDF. So each of these, so there is notes on the coming down under, and also a article on how, I think this is an article on entrepreneur.com about how rapidly these Amazon businesses, people that are starting to sell physical products on the Amazon marketplace, and how good of a cash flow model and business it is. So large businesses are buying these cash flow businesses off small people like yourselves, like us, at a rate of knots, because they're seeing as trusted platform, high turnaround, and great stability. So these sessions, these are training sessions. We do them every week, and we have adapted the 7-day startup model from our other sessions as well on the Rapid Startup Meetup group to the Amazon model. So taking an idea from zero to idea to build and launch in 7 days. I don't guarantee you could start an Amazon business and get your first sales in 7 days with Amazon, because you've got things like product research, supplier samples, shipping, and all that sort of stuff you need to go through. You might even have your seller account and ungating to go through, which could take weeks with Amazon. But having said that, you can definitely follow this model and have each of these phases underway. And who knows, you might even be able to get from zero to first sales in 7 weeks, which I've definitely done with one of my brands as well. So how do we get started with this? So product research is all about keywords. So if anyone has come from the SEO background, Google SEO and AdWords, and, search engine marketing, things like that, Amazon is built similar to that model, where everything starts with a keyword. It's very old school, but that's keywords that get sales is what they would then rank inside the algorithm. So if you get sales for a keyword, then you'll rank higher for that keyword, and you'll get more sales for that keyword, and you'll rank higher for that keyword, etc. So to do, I guess, like keyword planning, top end sort of stuff, it's very similar to Google. You can start with Google Trends, you can start with Google AdWords, Keyword Planner. Another tool that I find very useful is Merchant Words. It's very Amazon focused. It aggregates data for searching on keywords for this type of thing. So you can have I guess, a high level estimate of your target market and market size based on the keywords that you're trying to rank for your products. So let's say you're in the stainless steel niche. If someone was searching for stainless steel something, stainless steel itself has almost 1 million search results every month. And as far as depth of market, keywords around stainless steel, so for stainless steel, by stainless steel, and then stainless steel bits and pieces. So all these sort of keywords will come out. This is actually 35,000 results around that keyword. So similar keywords to that. And as we can see here, people buy lots of stuff on Amazon. If I type in stainless steel into Amazon, I get almost 10 million results. This is one of my favorite niches. I don't like plastics very much. I find them very dangerous. I have a little bit more of an ecological view on the world. I think stainless steel is slightly better for the environment than plastic, but I still like looking at this as a niche. You'll see the sponsored products at the top, and then we've got some very strange, very interesting, always interesting to search stainless steel to find out what people are buying in this niche. We'll see the 12-piece stainless steel cookware set here, and then some funky rings. Very interesting combination of the two. Probably not a very good seller, having two 3-star reviews. We can see that on the top here. But if we have a look at just the top 10, actually top 15 products, we can use a tool like Jungle Scout to have a look at sales estimates. But just adding up the top 10 for that keyword, that's top 15 on the first page. There's 16 pages, almost 10 million results. There's way more than 16 pages. So the first 16 results of 10 million products in that niche. just the first 16 is almost $1 million in sales. That's 672,000 US dollars a month just in those products alone. You'll see that the which one are we looking at? The Ezeal, that's it there. So the even these rings with 2 3-star reviews are doing almost $12,000 in sales a month. $12,000. You'll see the stainless steel cookware ranked #1 for stainless steel. It's a $57, $60 12-piece cookware set. Probably very flimsy stainless steel for that price, but it's selling almost 200 or over 200,000 Australian dollars a month of these cookware sets. Craziness. So quick look at what a product or a listing or a SKU is on Amazon. So each of those products on that page is actually called a listing. So you can have multiple listings for the same product, whether they're variations, different sets of. Each of those is classed as a product or a listing or a SKU, and you can have multiples of those. So the details of the product there will go into a little bit more details of what is actually on the listing page. And this is what you create once you set up your account and what you would actually list as a product for sale on Amazon. So the #1 main ranking section after the image, obviously you need a great looking image, is the title. So it's the main ranker. It's the first thing people see after their image. Obviously, people buy on image, or they're attracted to image and they'll buy on the wording afterwards and the social proof. But you'll see you can put a lot of words into the title. There are some restrictions on the title, but you need to have keywords in that title. That makes sense. You can't have keyword stuffed titles. So #1 bottle, stainless steel thing, blah, 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 blah. It needs to actually make sense. Otherwise, it'll get banned and you'll get in trouble, slapped by Amazon. The next one down is the seller or brand, and you can change this based on the products as well. You have multiple brands under your seller account. And then the all-important social proof is your stars and reviews as well. Down here, just some other points of note. The ASIN is the Amazon Unique Identifier, and that's a key one for products, especially when you're doing product research, and we'll touch on that in a moment. And the next biggest thing, and this is key to product research, is the best seller rank. So the best seller rank or sales rank is what Amazon is ranking this product against its competitors in each niche. So each niche is sort of a tree. The top categories, so there's sports and outdoor is one of the top categories. And then inside of sports and outdoors, there are multiple other subcategories as well. So you'll see that this stainless steel Savvy Swig bottle is ranked 2000 in sports and outdoor, which is actually reasonably high considering this is quite a large category. As we saw with stainless steel, there are 9 million products in stainless steel alone, let alone the stuff that's inside of sports and outdoors, which is not just stainless steel, but outdoor recreation, camping, hiking, hydration, filtration, water bottles. This is 126 in all of the water bottles on Amazon. That's pretty high. So it's obviously selling really well. So how do you come up with product ideas? So here are some of the do's to do on coming up with product ideas. So make a note of things that you have bought recently. So this is to the what do you spend money on without thinking twice, which is up here as well. If you are regularly buying something, then and you're not, you actually don't realize that you're spending money on it, that's probably a good idea to have a look into who else is selling that and if it's selling on Amazon. So you can start taking notes around things that you've got around the house, things you might have bought recently, things that you buy regularly, or things that you may have bought that might be interesting or unique. If that's if you're coming up blank on that one, another one is your hobbies as well. So as we saw, sports and outdoors is quite a huge category. You might find that you have a lot of products around basketball. So maybe not selling basketballs themselves, but what about accessories for training for basketball or that sort of thing as well. Some of the big don'ts. Now, we cover this for a few reasons. There are a few gotchas. There are definitely a lot of training courses out there. A lot of people talking about selling on Amazon. A lot of examples of high selling products, products that are easy to get into, niches that are huge selling products. Things like the garlic press, silicon spatulas, barbecue mats. I'm still getting contacted by people interested in selling on Amazon that are thinking about selling silicon spatulas because they saw a $5,000 course saying that this is what you need to get into. These are huge don'ts. So those courses are obviously run by high-end people who have probably or potentially made examples out of these products and have turned thousands upon thousands of people onto them, who have then flooded the market with those products. So there's absolutely no chance that you will be able to sell against those people because they've been taught the best by the best, and they're all competing with each other using the same or similar tactics. So highly competitive markets are difficult for the best of them, and I definitely don't recommend it. There's all sorts of nasty things that happen in those niches. Anything mentioned on a podcast, app, course, or show as well, not just in the courses, but in these other areas as well. If they're mentioned on those, then you can pretty much guarantee thousands of people have heard that idea and thought about that exact product, or that product but smaller, or that product with plus a bag, or that kind of thing. If they're talked about regularly, then you can pretty much guarantee they'll be on the market and they'll be tapped out. They'll be done 15 different ways from Sunday and won't be very competitive for you to get into anymore. If they are sold by Amazon, now this is not a game changer or a deal breaker. Sorry for selling on Amazon. If they are sold by Amazon, it's usually a good sign that it's a good product to sell, but maybe not for a beginner. If they're sold by Amazon, that means there's a lot of sales in that area. Amazon have tapped the sellers on there and have either gone to source it themselves, which is a bit of a bummer. And yes, Amazon do that from time to time. Or they've tapped the seller and then wholesaled from the seller, which is a great thing if you're a seller. It sounds pretty scary, but actually it's a good thing because they'll give you regular sales and large volumes, and they deal with a lot and handle a lot for you. So wholesaling to Amazon is definitely possible. I've seen lots of people do it. I haven't been tapped yet for that, but it's definitely possible. So it's not necessarily a bad thing if Amazon is selling it. It's not a deal breaker, but if you're just starting out and you're seeing that Amazon's selling several of the products that you want to sell, it might be a bit big for you to chew first off. Another one that I would recommend not starting on if you're starting fresh, if you've never sold anything before, is electronics. There's a few hoops you need to jump through to be even able to sell them. There's lots of problems with batteries, and the customer service and returns on electronics is actually quite hard as well. There's so many things that can go wrong. I have a small sort of hand blender that I bought to market. It was a tried and tested and trusted. I'd used several of them myself, but I had an issue, and I'd completely forgotten. They run out. Now it's a very cheap product, so of course it's going to break eventually. And I hammered the tool, but I forgot that people get pretty pedantic. If they spend $10 on a $2 blender and it breaks after 6 weeks, quite rightly they might be peeved and ask for their money back. And Amazon makes it super easy for them to do that. So hey, why not? I just need to drop the box and the receipt off before a certain date, down to the local post office and tell them it's an Amazon product, and boom, the money's back in my account. And from a seller's perspective, Amazon go, "Oh, return, we're taking that money back off you." So electronics is a tough one to start. And also food. Now I'm having all sorts of problems with food. I actually dropped one of my products off the list of to-dos, even though I'd gotten to stage 3 with it, because it was getting all too hard. Food is a lot of hoops. Food is a lot of testing. Food is a lot of certifications and documentation and all sorts of stuff you need to prove, and quite rightly so. Taking something untrustworthy and putting it up and having people consume it. If you think about it from a liability perspective, what happens if you actually hurt someone, even if you didn't mean it? I could never live with myself if I hurt somebody with a product. So food, I don't recommend getting into for your first one. Now, as I said, if we have gotten over the do's and don'ts, we've come up with a list. How do you actually go and do product analysis? How do we find out if these products that we're thinking about are actually going to sell, if it's worthwhile getting to? What are we up to? What size is the market? How many are selling? Which are the good ones that are selling? Which are the bad ones that are selling? Sales estimates is one of the most powerful market research tools available, and Amazon is just rife with this stuff. There's so much great data out there that's available. Now, sales estimates are what I said, estimates. They're not actually real numbers, but these are based on pretty accurate. So you can give or take 10, 15, 20% either way. It's still going to be reasonably close. So if you've got your sales figures, there are a few other things that you need to check before, as I said, going bananas. Is it seasonal? So let's put it in stainless steel cookware. And if we jump into something like that's actually google.com/trends, not trends.google.com anymore. It will get you there eventually. But if we type in stainless steel cookware, we can see that each of these blocks is 2 years. So pretty much at the start of the year or the end of the year, every year, I'm pretty sure that it might be grandma and grandpa buying for the kids, or for the kids buying for grandma and grandpa. Stainless steel cookware seems to sell at the start or the end of the year. So it could be that Christmas time thing. And as I mentioned earlier, pricing is another one that is important as well. So if I bought if I did my analysis on let's say a $50 cookware set that I could purchase, and I could see, hey, I'll come in on sort of mid-April, did my research. Oh, look, the competitors are selling their product for $83. I've got $30. I can make 25 or 30% or 40% or whatever that is every month. This is great. I'm totally going to buy this. This is awesome. I go and buy 1,000 sets of them, blow all my money, and then it turns out they jack the price up for 2 or 3 days while around about, just happened to be serendipity while I was doing the product research, and they were actually selling around the $38 to $50 mark. And if I'm purchasing them for that price, then obviously I'm not going to make any money anymore. So there is a tool called Camel. It's a very strange name, but very cool tool. It'll give you product sales history and sales rank over time as well. So you can compare the sales rank, so how well they're selling at the different price points as well, which is very, very cool. This is some epic data that's people like very large corporations pay analysts thousands and thousands of dollars to come up with this sort of data, and we can get it for free from Amazon. So have I wowed you on this model? Is there more to this thing? Absolutely. So there's so much more to this model, and we go through all of these in later sessions. Inventory management, pay-per-click, which is Amazon's version of paid advertising. So getting your posts sponsored up on the top and your products in front of the eyes based on keyword ranking and stuff like that. We have to deal with things like hijackers, so people coming in and selling, undercutting us on our listing. There's pricing management, so people that come in and bid against us and get the buy box from out from underneath us, even though it's our listing, also possible to happen. Keyword optimization, which is an ongoing strategy you need to follow to make sure that you are still ranking for the weird words that you need to, and you're not paying ridiculous money for advertising on terms that you're showing up for the wrong products and the wrong search. So there is a lot more to this business model. But we'll cover those off in future sessions as well. We run these every week. Do I need an American company is something that comes up a lot. If you are going to launch on Amazon, to test on Amazon.com, there's a few of us here that have done that so far. I definitely recommend, if this model sounds interesting to you and you want to test out the whole thing end to end, is doing a test run with a cheap product and testing it out to see how the whole thing works end to end, how Amazon listings are created, how to ship things in, how a sale works, all that sort of stuff. I definitely recommend that. but I get asked all the time, do I need an American company? And you're also asked when you set up your Amazon account what your EIN is. So an EIN is an entity identification number that's for American companies, and you need to be a US citizen to have them. You can set up a US company as a non-citizen to get an EIN, but you definitely don't need to be. It's not necessary. You can say no on your setup and say that you are not a US citizen, and that's all really what Amazon is interested in. So they want to know whether you're liable for tax so that they can set you up certain things for that, but you can just say, no, I'm not. You sign a digital document to say that you are not a US citizen, and they pretty much don't bother you again with tax stuff. So that's pretty cool. We are not liable for sales tax, but the customers sometimes have to pay for that. We aren't liable to collect that for the customers if we're outside the US. Now, obviously, I'm not a tax professional. You need to talk to one, especially around your business and what structure you have. You can register an Australian company to run this, which is what I have. There is a link here for a site called Incorporator. Sorry, the name slipped me for a second. Incorporator.com.au, which is a fantastic way you can just register your business online if you don't have one already. Now, this is a quote. It's not my quote, but as long as you keep your cash overseas, there's no income tax, but your company needs to pay tax. That's the 101. American tax is crazy. I don't know anything about American tax. I know that each of the states have different things. It's different to federal law, and they're fighting all the time and blah, blah, blah. Definitely speak to an accountant, and I don't think this is important myself personally for you just to start. You can start and sell, and there's thresholds. Once you start making $100,000 a month, hey, then go and pay an accountant $2,000 to sort the problem out for you. But if you're just starting and potentially you're going to be sinking some cash into this, that's something you can talk to your accountant at the end of the year to sort out. So you guys want to see how I'm doing with my Amazon business? Let me know in the chat box. Junglebooster.com/live if you're watching us tonight. So I'll do a quick recap on how I hustled my face off last year. So my first product was a product that I was already selling. I mentioned it was a little hand blender. One of the first rules of Fire Club, one of the first rules of launching products on Amazon is not to talk about your products. We did cover this a little earlier in the don'ts. When you mention a physical product and you mention any sort of success on Amazon, you can pretty much guarantee a lot of people will drop their headphones, run straight over and start buying that product. So we do blur these. We do try and mention niche rather than product itself, just for your own safety. If you don't want people stealing your ideas, it's very common for that to happen. But I did blur this out, but I'm happy to talk about it now. I've recently cashed out of this product itself. I'm not happy, as I said. It was a little portable hand blender. I was getting too many returns because it's a little faulty engine. It's a cheap product. It's meant to be a cheap product, but as Amazon is a really easy return model for customers, all about the customers, and they have a very low threshold on returns, especially for faulty stuff. They'll basically say your product's not up to quality. Now, I'm happy with the quality personally, but Amazon has a really low threshold on that. So I didn't want to get any issues with my account. I was teetering on that return rate, so I cashed out of that. It wasn't making a lot of money. It was making consistent money and consistent sales. This was the first 30 days of this product. I did basically zero outbound, no marketing, no anything really. I just literally put it up there. It was already selling in a different niche. I just put it into a specific niche around for me and sold out my first test batch. It was a product I was already selling, so it was pretty easy for me to get it up there, but I just wanted to test the model out. So this was, if you've heard of, and I'll talk about it a little bit later on as well, but the simple way to start is to grab a $500 challenge. So literally grabbing something like Alibaba or AliExpress, going and grabbing some products that once you've done a little bit of product research and you know that it's potentially selling, and there's a little bit of margin to play with, then you can pretty much chuck it up on Amazon and see how the thing goes. Get some sales, see how the process works. You're paying for training, effectively. There's a chance it could flop. There's a chance it could sell out. There's a chance you could break even. It's all a test, but the lessons that you learned out of that are invaluable. So this was my first product, reselling from my own niche, sold out in the first month. Second product, I was going against the numbers. I wasn't totally happy with the numbers. I had terrible pictures. It's a subpar product. I literally had it sitting around. It was a test fail from a supplier. So we'll go into suppliers on day 2, but I did a test buy from a supplier. They provided me an incorrect product and refunded me. So I was stuck with 100 subpar products that I wasn't happy with. I ended up getting my money back from the supplier, so they were excellent with that. But I had these products, so I just sent them in. They were a complete failure, so I liquidated those. Product 3. I did my research properly on this. So my first 30 days, I was very, very happy with. I received payments. I was positive cash flow from Amazon, so I was getting some returns on that. So I was extremely happy. It was a low price product, maybe $25, I think was the sell price. So the margin's obviously a lot lower than $25. But I was getting payments from Amazon on a consistent basis. And these are my first 30 days of sales. So I was very happy with that. Product 4, again, I'd done my research. These were all small buys. You can see these were the boxes that turned up at my house instead of going to Amazon. This was my 7-week experiment. So my first product took a long time to get up there. My second product took a couple of days to get up there. The third product was my 7-week experiment. As I said, you can get your products up and live in not necessarily 7 days, but definitely in 7 weeks. I was meant to go live within 5 weeks with this fourth product, but I ran into a small problem. I was being a little bit impatient. I didn't check everything. I had my team doing some stuff and a new supplier trying to organize a bunch of things. I didn't double check, triple check, quadruple check everything. And the supplier sent, I think it was 9 boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are there, but I think there's a couple behind it. I think it was 9 boxes they sent to my address via DHL. So I'm a long way from Portland in the US. So this wasn't a great thing. Thankfully, with a great relationship I built with my supplier, they refunded me the cost of resending that out. So if I had not had a good response with the supplier, this test buy, which was actually quite a lot, a few $1,000s worth of product, it was several $100s in shipping. So I'm pretty sure they would have lost most of their margin on having to resend that. So it cost several $100s again to send that back into Amazon. But thankfully, with a good supplier and a good relationship, they refunded that within a day. So my products are all in the coffee niche. And as I said, I followed this model to a T every single time. And I'm launching new products regularly. So day 1 ideation, we talked about the retailer business model in the previous session, but the niche that I've identified that I'll be going into. Now, this is a niche that I've been looking into for quite some time. I buy a lot of these sorts of products, so supplements. It's not a great niche to get into because it's very, 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 very popular. But I'm going to a subcategory in that niche, a very, very popular trending upwards product niche in nootropics. So these are smart drugs is another term for those. I have been looking into this for 6 months now. I was going to launch this on the back end of 2016, but I ended up launching a completely different business. So I dropped this at the end of last year, but I am picking it back up this year. So I'm very excited to get back into that. We talk about day 2 next session and going to validation. So getting yourself to minimum viable product actually means getting some samples from your supplier. So we'll talk about this in a bit more detail on next session. My biggest wins from doing this, as I mentioned before, I wouldn't be getting into this to make immediate cash turnaround. So yes, the numbers are flashy. Yes, it looks like a reasonably simple model, but there are a lot of moving parts. And the biggest wins when you're first starting is learning. So the learning that you get from creating a business like this, it's fast learning, definitely fast learning. You may end up with some economical success, but you'll definitely end up with a lot of learning success. Building a team for me was one of my other biggest wins, but that can come over time for you as well. So down to brass tacks, what's my figures? And these figures may be different for you. You might add an extra zero. You might remove a zero from some of these. But scaling to a six-figure business is as simple as grabbing a product, getting 10 sales a day with $10 profit per product, and scaling that up to 10 products. So even with, I think it's 5 products, you're still on a six-figure business, but $1,000 a day is a lot of cash for profit. That's $250,000 a year. So these are the basic numbers, the business model that I'll be scaling to. Success, simple metrics for me, 10 sales a day, $10 profit within 3 months, or I'll drop the product. And if I can get 3 products in 3 months, I'll class the whole model as a success, which was what I did. So recap from tonight's session. I see a few of you have probably toddled off to evening sleeps this evening. It's getting quite late. We do wrap these sessions up in a few minutes. So if you are watching this on the replay, junglebooster.com/replay to grab all the notes from tonight. You can leave any questions that you have there. We talked a little bit about remembering your why, finding winning products near and around you and your likes, grabbing easy sales data with Jungle Scout, tools like merchant words to do product research, search on product, search terms, keywords, and things like that. Really easy to start. So next week, next session, we are actually live in person tomorrow night. If you are in Perth, that's Wednesday night, the 25th. We'll be talking a little bit about the model and jumping into each person who attends models as well, and niches. We'll talk a little bit more about that as well, and do some live product research for specific people as well. But next session of these online sessions, we'll talk about testing products. So again, we'll cover some sales estimates and figures on specific products, trends and how testing, how big the pie is, the competition and difficulty, and do a bit of a cost analysis breakdown as well. So putting some of these products to the test with real numbers. As I said, you can subscribe on YouTube for these, and you can even look at some of the previous sessions we've done as well. You can get started with research, and accountability from me is available as well. We'll cover this in the next session. We are getting a little bit long in the tooth this evening, but I put together a test system that you can test these products without even purchasing them as well. I'll run through exactly how that works on a future session. If you are interested in diving a little bit deeper into that, it's available in tonight's notes as well. But I won't go into that this evening because we are coming to a close. And this is a brand new year, brand new session. I don't want to overload you guys. It is there if you want to dive a bit deeper. If you're coming to the in-person sessions, we are in person tomorrow night. And every Wednesday night, we do either a rapid startup meetup or a Jungle Booster session where we talk about Amazon physical products. So every fortnight in person for these Amazon launch branding stuff, and every Tuesday night online as well. Any questions, guys? junglebooster.com/live. I can see Carl's sorted out his headphones, hopefully. Nice to see you, Paul. Nice to see you, Shane. I hope that was useful to you guys. I'll leave the chat box open a little bit longer. If you do want to grab a session with me, you can jump on my diary. I do have 1 or 2 spots left this week. Bear in mind, Thursday is Australia Day. I'm hoping to watch a bit of cricket this year. Haven't watched any so far. It's my favorite sport. But if you do want to chat anything Amazon business, grab a spot in my diary. I'm happy to geek out with you, especially if you're new to this and you want to run your idea or your niche or your product by me. Happy to help you out with that and point you in the direction of any tools that might give you a hand as well. But having said that, it's coming to a close. I hope that was useful, guys. I'll be back next week. And as I said, you can meet us in person as well. Paul says, see you tomorrow. Absolutely, Paul. Long time no see. And you can grab the notes from tonight. Down below the chat box, there's a bonus tool. Click that button, gives you a PDF. Everything is in there. Until next week, guys, have a great week, and I'll see you soon.